guys, welcome to another layout. Now I'm finally getting around to scrapbooking some of Angela's AFL photos. There's a couple of them that just, oh wow, they were taken by the coach, and hence why I've left the watermark on the bottom of the photo and I haven't trimmed it out, because shout out to them. Shutter, what's it called? I can't think of it off the top of my head now. It is called Shutter Speed Photography. That's who have given me this photo, these photos. It's the coach, blah, 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 all that sort of fun stuff. Beautiful photos, amazingly beautiful photos. Now, I wanted to create something a little bit different. Now, I'm going along, I could have done this on the Cricut, okay, but I was set a challenge. Remember last week I said that I've had a few people set me some challenges. So this was the challenge. Can I create a layout that you could make on a Cricut or electronic machine, but I do it manually? So this is one that I thought could work. Now, I used my compass, I cut out a circle that is 5.5 inches in, its radius is 5.5 inches. So it's 11 inches across. Then what I went through and what I've done is I've drawn some lines at varying widths and I've cut them across. That's a mistake. There's my mistake for this video, but I fix it. I show you how I fix it. And this is where I have, what I'm doing is I'm removing sections. Certain pieces I'm taking out. Now I'm leaving the ends sort of on an angle. They're not necessarily straight. They're not parallel with each other. They're just all sort of choppy, if that makes sense. I've seen dies like this, and I've seen other people use these sort of dies on cards. So it gave me the idea, maybe I could do something like this for a layout. Now you can see those two wide ones there are really close with a very thin piece between it. That is because that's where I slipped with the knife, and don't stress, it's all good. You can just keep going and it will all work out in the end. So I just went along. There was no rhyme nor reason to how I was cutting these lines. There was no, you can see where my photo is going to go. Obviously I'm not cutting behind that because that makes no sense. And my daughter's, Angela's team colors are maroon, yellow and blue. So I decided to go full crazy on this, and watch this. This is pretty cool. I just went mustard seed distress oxide spray, and instantly we go from white to yellow. Done. Now, does it need to be solid like that? Probably not, but you know, if you're gonna go to town with it, you might as well go to town with it, right? So clean up my mess, all good. The best part about having that plastic placemat, and yes, I didn't remove the placemat when I was doing the cutting, but it didn't go all the way through. That particular craft knife that I'm using, I bought it from, I don't even know where I got it from, to be completely honest. Maybe it was, no, I got no idea. But it's a thinner sort of knife, so the very tip of it, you sort of have a bit more control with it anyway. So I use that. Now I am going ahead and putting the maroon behind the yellow. And what I'm going for in my head is when Angie's kicking the ball, these are kind of arrows where the ball is going. That's how I like, sometimes when I most of the time when I scrapbook, I like the photos to go in the direction that the person's facing into the center of the layout, or in this case, the football, she's kicking the football mid-game and she's kicking it to the right in the to the left in the photo. So I wanted the lines to be giving you the feel that it's getting kicked forward. Projection. I'm trying to think of what it's called. It's giving you the illusion of speed and flight. That's what I'm trying to sort of get out. That's the feeling I'm trying to go for here. Now, these, I haven't pulled these out in a while. These are the Paper Rose Studio Gold Basics 1.1. They actually have, Paper Rose Studio make these beautiful gold and white papers. They're, how do I explain it? They're super metallic. They're very shiny. They have different patterns on them. Some are arrows, some are pluses, some are dots, some are circles, but they're ones that you can use, for example, like this. So you can cut it down, and because this one is technically arrows, you can literally cut it down, and it's helping me create that illusion even more of everything going forward that direction. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just cutting these down, and it took a little bit of finagling to get them all the right width, and then those couple of really thin bits where I made the stuff up, I was a little bit, it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was not easy to get these strips to still have that arrow bit in the center to go through on that section. I considered leaving it blank, but I felt like it was naked. It looked like it was missing a bit. Something wasn't quite right. Now, don't forget that I do have to come in with my title after this, and I do my title on my Cricut. So stick around for that. That looks pretty cool. And as this comes together, you start to, the reason I've sort of put this off, I guess, is these colors in my mind. I see her in these colors every single week, right? She's wearing these colors every week, but I don't know, they obviously go, but I was struggling with it. The other thing that I was struggling with is there's not actually a maroon color in the Distress Oxide range. Think about that for a second. There's really not. I ended up combining two colors. I ended up combining the Lumberjack Plaid and Aged Mahogany. I combined those together and sort of got a ratio that worked, and it does look maroon. Once you add those two together, it works. Now, I went around the edge with blue and I didn't like it. Instantly didn't like that. So I came back in over the top with black soot, because I used the chip sapphire because I need to get blue on there somewhere because they're her team colors. But going around the circle with it was not the right move. Now, that's when I realized, okay, the blue is going to be my border. So I'm using chip sapphire, and I'm just using my blending brushes, and I'm just going around the edges just to give it a sort of that blended out look, that sort of hue going around the layout. Now, I absolutely love how this turns out in the end, but I will be completely honest with you. I felt like a fish out of water. I was flopping around on the bank of the river. I didn't really know how far to go with it. Do I push it even further? I didn't want to over embellish this because women's AFL it's a great look. It is a great sport. Angela is loving it. She played on the weekend. They were in one of their elimination finals. So they've made it to the top 4 teams, and she's loving it. We have another game this weekend. So this one is a semi-final. We are against, I think it's Cooperoo, which is really hard because Cooperoo were actually a Division 1 team last year, and because they didn't win, they dropped them back down to a Div 2 team. And Angela's in a Div 2 team, but when we play other Division 2 teams, it's a very equal game. Like, you can see all the girls are still learning their plays, they're still learning, and nobody's standing out as being exceptional. Like, wow, are they really from this level? You know, Cooperoo, they literally kick our butts. So hopefully this weekend the girls can come in and start playing exactly as they did this week just gone, and hopefully they can make it through one more round and get through to the finals. That would be amazing. Yeah, so I'm just going around with my black Posca paint pen, and I'm drawing. I sort of traced the lines to create a shadow where I've put the plum cardstock. Now, the paper pad that I'm using, I wrote it down. Yes, it's a DCWV Sweet and Sassy Premium Stack of Papers. That's where I got that plum colour from. I did show you that very quickly at the beginning. It's one that has been in my collection. I think I got it from Spotlight a million years ago. At least 5, 6, maybe longer years ago. And I knew it had a plum sort of colour in it. So I'm able to pull it off. I think that colour works. And yeah, with the bright yellow. And I'm just adding some extra definition. I had to do that quite slowly. Now, these are the two colours. These two back up to each other in the colour range of Distress Oxides. So you've either got the Lumberjack Plaid, the real Christmas red, or you've got the Mahogony, Aged Mahogany. So neither of those two were going to work perfectly for me. So I ended up having to see, when I'm just using the Lumberjack Plaid, it's too red. So I have to add a little bit of the Aged Mahogany into it. And that is okay. You know what? We always have these gaps in our Distress Oxides or Distress Inks, whatever. It doesn't matter what company you go with, what color range you're looking at. There will always be one color missing. It just is what it is. They cannot make every single color. So sometimes we have to get our color theory out and we have to start thinking how we can make these colors come together to make the color we want. These two worked beautifully. Would I have done that over where the yellow is on this layout? Probably not, because I probably could not have got a really good, maybe if I had them in the Distress Oxide sprays, maybe I would have considered it. But not with the ink pads. I don't think I would have got a nice even colour. So, sorry, I just need a drink. I've just done like 3 voiceovers. Sorry, guys. I get a dry mouth. It's really hard to just keep talking. Now, I do want to let you know that I will be doing a live Friday afternoon this coming Friday. I will start at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I will go for a few hours. So it will be a few hours of just scrappy, chatty fun, basically. And if you want to come along, if there's anything that you have wanted to see or something that you would like to see me do and show you that, yes, it works or whatever, let me know. You can either leave it in the comments in this video, or if you're a part of the Facebook group, which is the links for the Facebook and Instagram and everything is below. If you want to pop over there, I'll make a post today saying that I'll be live on Friday, just to let you know, so you can, and as a reminder, you can maybe set a, set a timer, and maybe you will be able to pop in and say hi. I would love that. I'll go for quite a few hours because I like to go for a couple of hours, because you can pop in for sort of 30 minutes and go, yep, okay, I've got to go. Or, yep, I like where this is going. I'll come back and watch the live back later. And I really like doing that because I feel like it works for a lot of people, and I cover a few time zones if I do it like that. So, yeah, so that sounds like lots of fun, doesn't it? So I can't wait. I'll have a couple of layouts ready to go. Let me know if there's something you want to see me do, as I said, and we will do that on Friday. Looking forward to that one. Now, I will let you know the Christmas layout is my next layout. It will be up on Friday as well, so we'll be able to chit chat about it. You guys have got to see this layout. I have never been prouder of a technique that has worked and worked so efficiently as this technique. And I've never seen someone do it like this before. So it was just one of those things that just popped out of my head and into my head and out of my head, and it just works. I love it. So this layout is coming together. Don't stress, I haven't gone anywhere. I have gone somewhere, but what am I doing? Oh, I know what I was doing. I was responding to a message. So, yeah, so I just went around the outside edges just to give it a little bit of extra definition, because when I do a blue, like where I've done chip sapphire here on the blue, sometimes I feel like it's just falling off the page. So I feel like it needs to have a little bit more. So I'm just doing a squiggly border now because it needs to be a little bit thicker. I do have a bullet tip black Posca paint pen, but I thought that would be just a bit too much. So I'm just putting that down the bottom, and then I realized, you know what? I need a little bit more texture where the blue is. So because it's a water reactive ink, I just grabbed a little bit of water, flicked it on there, boom, bada bing. I've got a little bit of extra added texture around the outside, bit more interest. So here you go, guys. This is this one up close. Do you reckon I pulled it off? Do you reckon it works? Does it give you the illusion of kicking the football forward? And I will be back tomorrow with another video with my Merry Christmas video in August, but that's okay. Letting you know that, and I'll be using the chipboard from Crafty Divas. Thanks so much for checking out my layout. I will be back tomorrow, and I will chat to you then. Bye for now, guys.